The world had changed long before he inherited the wolf. Cities lay in fractured splendor, their towers glinting with stolen alien technology, rivers of light coursing through streets once plain. Humanity had survived countless wars, but none so strange, none so profound, as the silent conquest of minds and machines. And yet, the thing that came to him was neither machine nor human. It was a wolf, towering, its fur a shifting pattern of shadow and light, eyes burning with intelligence and disdain, a creature that had belonged to the fallen king of an alien empire, feared across stars. He had expected aggression, perhaps obedience, perhaps terror. What he received was curiosity, and the faintest trace of memory. Of ancient loyalty bound to bloodlines he could never claim. The wolf's muscles rippled beneath a coat that seemed woven from the void itself, and when it moved, it was a predator unchallenged, yet restrained. Humanity had taught him survival in the theater of war, yet this was a test unlike any he had known, a creature not tamed by fear, nor swayed by commands, but observing him, calculating his worth. The first night it arrived, it circled his compound with silent precision, sniffing the air as though tasting the echoes of worlds he had never visited. His hands rested on the rifle at his side, yet he knew this was not a battle of bullets. It was a trial of perception, understanding, and patience. The wolf had once been the scourge of the alien king's enemies, feared for its cunning, its speed, its unerring instincts. Now it lingered, silent as shadow, watching him with the weight of history pressing through its gaze. He thought of the wars he had fought, skirmishes against human factions, rebellions, rogue AI uprisings. But none of those trials compared to this. This was not survival against numbers, nor logic against machine. This was survival against instinct refined into intelligence, against loyalty hardened into the remnants of a civilization that had tried to crush his species. The wolf carried the essence of all that hatred, all that power, and yet here it was. Not attacking, but waiting. At dawn, it spoke, not in the guttural growls of its kind, but in words shaped by human cadence, alien accent threading each syllable. "You are not like them," it said, voice deep, resonant, and laden with curiosity. The soldier's eyes narrowed. He had trained to face invaders from beyond the stars, to read machines and creatures alike, yet this moment demanded more than instinct. He realized, slowly, that the wolf's words were a bridge, a negotiation without negotiation, a test of understanding and trust. He extended a hand, not in command, not in ownership, but in acknowledgement. The wolf stepped closer, its presence overwhelming yet measured, and when it nudged his palm, there was the faintest warmth, a recognition that the bond would not be forced, but earned. This was no pet, no soldier, no servant. It was an equal, a companion born of war, of memory, and of a species' defiance. Humanity had inherited the remnants of alien empires before, but never had the inheritance spoken back. The air around them shimmered with the residue of alien technology, faint pulses of energy tracing patterns only the wolf seemed to perceive. Its gaze swept the horizon, reading threats invisible to human eyes, calculating the landscape, the potential dangers, the possibilities. And yet, despite its alien heritage, it waited, silent, patient, learning the soldier as much as he learned it. There was a rhythm to this coexistence, a dance between warforged instincts and human moral calculus. At night, when the stars spread across the sky like scattered jewels, the wolf would lay by the soldier's side, silent except for the occasional hum of its alien resonance. It did not speak, but it observed, and he felt that observation as a lesson, that survival was not merely a measure of firepower or cunning, but of patience, intelligence, and the willingness to see beyond fear. Humanity had always survived against impossible odds, but this was different. This was survival with a creature that had once been an instrument of fear, now a mirror of both potential and judgment, and somewhere in the quiet. The soldier understood the truth. He had not inherited a weapon, he had inherited a conscience, alien though it might be, bound by loyalty and respect, tempered by war. It was a companion that could destroy him with a thought, yet chose to stay, observing, waiting, testing. Humanity had survived countless threats, but it had never been asked to coexist with a mind that was neither fully alien nor fully human, a mind capable of understanding, challenging, and teaching in equal measure. The wolf moved with silent grace through the soldier's compound, muscles coiling and uncoiling like springs of shadow. Each step it took was precise, calculated, yet fluid, a predator honed by centuries of hunting across alien worlds. It sniffed at the edges of the technology scattered throughout the camp, sensors and devices humming softly beneath human hands, and then it paused, tilting its head as though considering the very essence of humanity itself. Its eyes, burning with alien intelligence, tracked not only motion but intention, reading thought and instinct alike. The soldier watched, rifle at his side, yet he felt no need to raise it. He had faced countless enemies, rogue AI, alien raiders, and the remnants of invading fleets, but nothing had ever unsettled him like this. The wolf was not just a creature, it was a challenge, a test of perception and patience. Every flicker of its gaze, every twitch of its ear, seemed to measure him, asking silently whether he was worthy of coexistence. It was a predator that had once struck terror across star systems, now reduced neither to servant nor weapon, but to something far more formidable, a judge of character. Over the following days, the wolf and the soldier fell into a rhythm of observation and understanding. The wolf shadowed him during patrols, alert to every sound, every vibration, every hint of danger. It did not obey commands, but it did not interfere. Its presence was both a comfort and a reminder. Intelligence without empathy is survival alone, but intelligence tempered with understanding is power. Humanity had survived countless wars through cunning, through adaptation, yet the wolf introduced a new dimension, one that demanded reflection, not reaction. When the wolf spoke again, its voice was low and deliberate, shaped by alien resonance but understandable in cadence. "You are not like them," it said, referring not just to humanity in general, but to the soldier himself. The words carried weight, a recognition of thought, strategy, and morality. The soldier realized that the wolf did not merely perceive strength, it perceived integrity, the alignment of mind, instinct, and heart. In this quiet communication, he understood that the wolf was teaching as much as observing, challenging him to grow, to match its alien perception with human ingenuity. Together, they explored the ruins scattered across the land, buildings overgrown yet humming with alien remnants, energy conduits pulsing faintly beneath shattered floors. The wolf sniffed, nudged, and occasionally growled at anomalies invisible to human eyes, warning of dangers and opportunities alike. The soldier learned to follow its lead, not blindly, but attentively, interpreting each gesture, each look, each subtle signal. Humanity had always thrived through adaptation, but now adaptation required empathy, patience, and the courage to trust a mind unlike any other. At night, under skies lit by distant stars, the wolf would settle beside him, not as a guard, not as a weapon, but as a companion. Its breathing, deep and steady, resonated faintly with alien energy, a subtle hum that seemed to align with the soldier's own heartbeat. The silence was teaching, the stillness a conversation. Humanity had survived by force, by cunning, by intelligence, but here, survival was measured by the ability to coexist, to understand, to anticipate not only threats, but intentions, emotions, and judgments, and through it all, the soldier realized that this bond was not possession. The wolf had been feared, hated, and worshipped across galaxies, yet it chose, of its own will, to remain. Humanity had inherited its power, but also its conscience. The soldier understood that trust was the ultimate battlefield, and that victory was not in domination, but in mutual recognition. The wolf's presence was both challenge and affirmation. Humanity could face monsters, conquer empires, and endure destruction, but only by embracing intelligence tempered with understanding, courage paired with restraint. The wolf's presence became a constant in the soldier's life, a shadow and a guide, its alien senses detecting dangers before they could manifest. It moved through the ruined cities and alien-infused landscapes with uncanny precision, muscles rippling beneath fur that seemed woven from starlight and shadow. Humanity had survived countless threats through ingenuity and resilience, yet this was a lesson beyond survival, a lesson in partnership. In reading the unseen, in anticipating what even instinct could not predict, when it spoke, the words carried weight far beyond the syllables themselves. You think like a hunter, yet your mind balances more than instinct. You calculate, but you weigh morality. That is rare. The soldier paused, absorbing the depth of the statement. The wolf was not praising, it was observing, measuring, teaching. Humanity had always relied on strategy and adaptability, but here was a creature whose comprehension spanned centuries, whose instincts were sharpened by alien warfare, yet it acknowledged the human capacity for moral and creative thought. Together, they traversed landscapes scarred by war, abandoned alien outposts. Crumbled towers humming with residual energy, forests grown wild over human settlements. The wolf tested the soldier at every turn, sometimes nudging him away from dangerous ruins, sometimes circling ahead to scout invisible threats. Its movements were poetry of predation, precise yet fluid, each step a lesson in awareness. Humanity had learned to navigate danger through intuition and invention, but the wolf demanded that the soldier expand both, to think not only as a survivor, but as a strategist guided by ethics and foresight. In moments of quiet reflection, the soldier observed the wolf's behavior, noting the way its eyes tracked not just threats, but the choices he made in response. It was a mirror of discipline and judgment, a being forged to obey instinct, yet capable of interpreting conscience. Humanity had been defined by the will to endure, but now endurance alone was insufficient. The bond required understanding, empathy, and the ability to act decisively while respecting the intelligence beside him. The wolf demonstrated the subtleties of alien technology left behind by the fallen king. It sniffed out energy signatures, nudged components into alignment, and occasionally spoke in that low, resonant cadence, explaining the logic behind actions as if he were a pupil and it the instructor. Humanity had faced AI and alien adversaries alike, but none had taught patience so vividly. None had forced comprehension of the interplay between raw power and deliberate thought. The soldier began to see his own decisions mirrored in the wolf's analysis, each choice scrutinized, refined, and understood in a way no human ally ever had. At night, under a sky filled with distant suns, the wolf would lie close, its presence both comfort and challenge. It did not sleep in the same sense as humans, its mind remained alert, processing, evaluating, learning. Yet it allowed proximity, a silent acknowledgement of trust earned through shared vigilance. Humanity had endured because of courage and intellect, but the soldier now understood that strength was magnified by collaboration with a mind that transcended species. A mind that demanded reflection, adaptation, and respect, and so, they moved through the ruins of the old world, not as master and servant, not as human and alien beast, but as partners. Each step, each decision, each silent observation reinforced a truth that surpassed survival. True power lies not in domination, but in understanding, in mutual respect, and in the ability to act decisively while honoring the intelligence of another. Humanity had faced empires, machines, and cosmic threats, yet here was a teacher, a companion, and a challenge, all in one, wrapped in the form of a wolf that once commanded fear across galaxies. The wolf's steps were silent on the cracked ground, yet its presence spoke volumes. Every movement, every twitch of its ears, every shifting glimmer in its starlit fur carried meaning, an unspoken lesson in awareness and anticipation. The soldier followed closely, absorbing the rhythms of its predatory grace. Humanity had faced overwhelming threats, from alien conquerors to rogue AI, yet nothing had demanded such patience, such attunement, such a balance of instinct and intellect. The wolf was both a mirror and a teacher, a living enigma, and the soldier felt the weight of its history pressing against the present. They ventured deeper into ruins once occupied by the alien king, structures of impossible architecture that defied human engineering. The wolf paused at thresholds, sniffing at the lingering energy of long-extinct sentinels, nudging the soldier to examine corridors where danger and opportunity intertwined. Every step became a calculated risk, yet one imbued with lessons. Humanity had survived by ingenuity, but here, survival required understanding the unknown on a level beyond human perception. Each decision was no longer merely tactical, it was moral, ethical, and creative, a fusion that tested the limits of both human and alien cognition. the wolf occasionally spoke, its voice low and resonant, resonating with the soldier's thoughts. You consider the path of least resistance, yet you hesitate. That hesitation shows wisdom, but also caution. Learn when to act without fear. Its words were not commands, they were evaluations, calibrations of understanding. Humanity had survived countless wars by acting decisively, yet this guidance demanded reflection, a pause to consider consequences and possibilities, an integration of foresight and moral judgment that few humans had been trained to master. As they navigated corridors lined with alien glyphs and energy conduits still humming with latent power, the wolf demonstrated subtleties that the soldier would have otherwise missed. It nudged a console, causing dormant systems to flicker to life, revealing hidden pathways. It circled dangerous machinery, pausing only when the risks were minimized. Humanity had always relied on adaptation and resourcefulness, but the wolf's guidance revealed a new dimension, intuition amplified by experience spanning worlds and centuries. The soldier began to see patterns in chaos, structures within randomness, and the hidden logic of survival beyond brute force. At night, the two rested beneath the shattered canopy of a skyscraper, stars filtering through gaps in the alien architecture. The wolf lay curled near him, eyes half closed yet alert, every sense absorbing the environment, every thought tuned to the soldier's own vigilance. Humanity had learned to endure conflict through courage, ingenuity, and willpower, but here, endurance required partnership. Trust was forged not in domination, but in observation, in patience, and in the careful balancing of strength and understanding. The bond deepened through subtle challenges. The wolf tested his patience with silent obstacles, guided him through dangers invisible to human perception, and occasionally withdrew, forcing him to act with initiative. Humanity had always excelled in crisis, but the soldier realized that excellence alone was insufficient. Success required empathy, intuition, and the courage to act in accordance with principles, not merely expediency. The wolf became both mentor and equal, a living embodiment of the alien king's strategic genius tempered by loyalty, respect, and restraint. Through days of silent study and cautious exploration, the soldier began to internalize the lessons. Each movement became deliberate, each choice informed by intelligence and moral clarity. Humanity's traditional strengths, adaptability, courage, and ingenuity, were magnified by collaboration with a mind alien yet profoundly comprehensible. The wolf's presence was a constant reminder: power without understanding is fleeting, survival without wisdom is hollow, and true strength emerges from the fusion of intellect, intuition, and conscience. By dawn, as the first light filtered through the ruins, the soldier understood the ultimate truth of their partnership. He had inherited not a weapon, not a threat, but a living testament to the potential of understanding across species. The wolf's intelligence, tempered by centuries of experience and bound by loyalty, was a mirror of what humanity could aspire to: ingenuity enhanced by empathy, courage refined by conscience, and power guided by wisdom. Together, they would navigate a world shaped by war, conquest, and the lingering echoes of alien empires. The wolf led him into a vast canyon, carved from stone that shimmered faintly with residual alien energy. Every ridge, every crevice, every shadow seemed alive, yet the wolf moved as though it belonged to the terrain, reading the currents of energy that humans could only sense faintly. The soldier followed, alert, but he no longer felt fear. Humanity had endured countless conflicts, yet the lessons he now learned were unlike any battlefield strategy: observation, patience, and alignment with a mind that could anticipate in ways no human training could. The alien wolf paused at the canyon's edge, its gaze sweeping across the expanse. "The challenge is not in force," it said, voice low, deliberate, but in comprehension. "To survive here, you must see beyond what is visible, feel beyond what is tangible." The soldier absorbed this, realizing that the wolf's tests were never about obedience. They were about teaching him to perceive layers of reality, threads of cause and effect invisible to the casual observer. Humanity had always relied on cunning and resilience, but now it was being asked to integrate instinct, morality, and imagination into action. As they navigated the canyon, remnants of alien constructs loomed, monolithic towers of unknown purpose, corridors lined with energy conduits still flickering faintly, and the echoes of a civilization that had spanned galaxies. The wolf moved through them effortlessly, nudging the soldier to notice patterns, to anticipate risks, to act decisively in harmony with surroundings. It was a predator in every sense, yet its aim was not to dominate, but to educate, to mold perception, to challenge him to see beyond survival into strategy guided by intelligence and conscience. At one point, the wolf halted abruptly, ears twitching, body tense. "Danger is here, but not as you expect," it murmured. The soldier understood immediately. Threats were often hidden within assumptions. Energy pulses from dormant alien machinery could trigger destruction, while structural instability could collapse in unpredictable ways. Guided by the wolf's sensing, he navigated the hazards with precision, understanding that victory came not from strength alone, but from awareness, adaptability, and insight. Humanity had survived wars through courage, yet here courage alone was insufficient. It had to be accompanied by comprehension. Night fell across the canyon, the sky a tapestry of stars reflected in faint streams of alien energy that traced the ridges and fissures. The wolf curled beside him, breathing slow and steady, its form a bridge between worlds, past and present, instinct and reason. Humanity had endured against empires and machines, yet this bond revealed that survival could be transformed into mastery. Understanding, observation, and collaboration had become as vital as strength, speed, or cunning. The wolf's presence was a constant reminder that intelligence guided by morality and empathy was a force no weapon could match. In the days that followed, the soldier and the wolf explored ruins where alien technology lingered like echoes of a lost empire. The wolf demonstrated subtleties of operation, showing him how to manipulate energy conduits to create defensive fields. How to use terrain to mask movement, how to sense danger before it manifested. Humanity had survived through adaptation, yet these lessons were teaching him to anticipate, to create, and to act with foresight shaped by conscience. Each step, each choice, each silent communication with the wolf was sharpening him, refining him into a force that merged human resilience with alien perception. Through quiet reflection and deliberate action, the soldier understood that this companionship was not mere convenience or necessity. It was partnership in the truest sense, a union of minds shaped by survival, experience, and the pursuit of understanding. Humanity had always endured by intellect and courage. But now it was being asked to combine those traits with patience, perception, and moral clarity. The wolf was not a tool, not a servant, not a weapon. It was a mentor, a judge, a mirror reflecting potential beyond fear, beyond instinct, and beyond human limitation. Dawn broke over the alien ruins, casting long, fractured shadows across the canyon. The wolf moved beside the soldier with silent authority, muscles coiled like living springs, fur rippling with light and shadow. Its eyes scanned the horizon, reading currents of energy, calculating risk, predicting movement. The soldier followed, attuned now not just to danger, but to subtle signals, to unspoken lessons, to the rhythm of a mind that had once served a king feared across galaxies. Humanity had survived countless threats, yet nothing had demanded such total integration of instinct, intelligence, and moral judgment. The wolf paused, ears flicking, body tense. The ultimate challenge is not to survive what is obvious, it said, voice deep and resonant, but to perceive what is hidden, to act where others hesitate, to master not only action but understanding. The soldier realized then that every step they had taken, every obstacle navigated, every subtle gesture of trust, had been preparation for this moment. The wolf's tests were not trials of obedience, but trials of perception, patience, and courage tempered by insight. Humanity's traditional strengths, adaptability, ingenuity, courage, had been necessary, but insufficient alone. They had to be joined with comprehension beyond instinct, with foresight shaped by ethics, with action guided by conscience. Together they entered the central chamber of the ruins, a colossal space dominated by the remnants of alien technology still humming with latent energy. Panels of unknown purpose flickered with faint light, conduits pulsed, and holographic glyphs shimmered faintly in the shadows. The wolf moved confidently, nudging the soldier to observe, interpret, and act. Each choice mattered. Misstep could trigger dormant systems, collapse structures, or awaken hidden defenses. Humanity had always thrived on courage and innovation. Yet this was mastery beyond invention, a union of perception, calculation, and understanding that could turn danger into opportunity. The wolf spoke again. You have learned much, yet the final lesson is trust. Trust in your mind, trust in your instincts, and trust in the bond forged between us. The soldier nodded, feeling the weight of the moment. The wolf's gaze was unwavering, measuring not only his skills but the alignment of thought and morality. This was not about dominance or submission, it was about collaboration, a synthesis of human resilience and alien perception. The predator of old worlds had become a teacher, a companion, and an equal, at the heart of the chamber. The wolf demonstrated a subtle manipulation of the alien systems, redirecting energy flows, illuminating hidden pathways, neutralizing dormant defenses. The soldier followed each action, learning not through instruction, but through observation, intuition, and reflection. Humanity had survived empires, machines, and cosmic catastrophes, yet the wolf revealed a higher form of survival, comprehension amplified by intelligence, courage tempered by conscience, and action guided by insight. Each maneuver was a lesson in precision, patience, and moral clarity. As they emerged from the ruins, the sun, or a distant star, broke across the horizon, casting golden light on fur and steel. The wolf walked beside him, not as a weapon, not as a servant, not as a pet, but as a partner. Humanity had inherited an alien legacy, but it was not the power of destruction that mattered, it was the wisdom to wield intelligence, courage, and morality in concert. The soldier understood the ultimate truth: strength without understanding is fragile, skill without conscience is hollow, and survival alone is insufficient. True mastery requires insight, empathy, and trust, not just of others, but of oneself. The wolf paused at the edge of a cliff, gazing across the alien landscape, eyes reflecting starlight and shadow. The soldier stood beside it, heart steady, mind alert, spirit aligned. They had survived, yes, but they had transcended survival. They had forged a bond that bridged species, history, and galaxies, a living testament to the power of intelligence guided by conscience. Humanity had inherited more than a wolf. They had inherited a teacher, a mirror, and a challenge that would shape every choice to come.